Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now here's your host, Michael Sirigliano.
Welcome to another episode of In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Sirigliano, with special guests Antonio and Nick, owners of Flower City Wraps. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Good day. It's a good day. It is a good day. So I wanted to figure out what you guys got going on now in regards to like what's going on with the business now. Do you guys got anything new going on? What's up?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to move into a lot of different areas in terms of business, graphics, commercial signage. We still do vinyl wrap, cars, things like that. Obviously, we're on social media, Flower City Wraps, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Everywhere.
No
yeah,
Twitter.
Really. I mean,
no Twitter.
As many
no Twitter.
No Twitter. Definitely
we don't
no
do
Twitter.
But everywhere else.
Are you guys seeing any people like seeing your shit on social media and being like, okay, I want to get that, and like people coming in from social media, or are you still building up to that point?
It's a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, in this business, it's really about who you know. Like a lot of people in the car scene know, who we are, what we do,
Right.
which really helps us because, we're at the meets, we're at the shows.
Yeah.
It's the public outreach that really helps us most, other than social media.
Social media does help here and there because, we have really, hot posts that, people like. Like that Beamer we did, people really like that post. The Land Rover we just did, the Matt Green one, people really like that. So, we got people who reach out from Instagram, but a lot of it stems from just knowing us in general. We just had someone DM us about a car wrap yesterday. Want to get their Civic wrapped. But, the person who knows us just knows us from being in the car scene.
Right.
So are you guys getting a lot of your customers from like actually knowing you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of friends and acquaintances?
Yeah, it's all about, we'll go out, we'll meet someone, and then they'll say, I might need this done. And then they say, my buddy, he wants to get this done. And it's really all about making connections that way.
By far, that's the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
You do a job for someone, they like the job, their friend sees it, I want the same exact thing. That's literally how it goes. Or you do commercial signage, which is why it's so big, and they're like, can you also do this? And then this? And then this?
So you guys do auto vinyl wrapping and then also commercial signage and shit like that? So when you say commercial signage, what is that actually, what is that?
So commercial signage is basically any type of vinyl work that you have on a wall in your store, a window in your store, or a sign out front.
Or business vehicles, like the fleet vehicles,
Yeah.
like the lawn mowing, snow plowing companies, they got to have their name on there, otherwise they're not going to know who to call, who runs the business.
Right.
So how did you guys start getting those? Because I know when you guys started, you were doing just like your cars, where you're just wrapping people's individual cars. What got you guys, what made you guys get into commercial fleet?
Who was our first? I think it was the guys down the road, right?
Skyrock, yeah.
Yeah, we had guys who actually just opened up recently down the road, and they just drove by and actually stopped in. And we don't have a ton of people stopping in because we're not huge.
Yeah.
But they stopped in, they talked to us for a while, and they were like, yeah, we want to get our van, fully Skyrock. We want Skyrock here, our logo. And it just turned out really, really well. And we also did it one time before at a pet store in Brockport on this lady's window, which they kind of just correlated, and we were like, well, we could do it here, we could do it on a car.
Exactly,
Right,
yeah.
Same thing.
So it was literally you just took what you did on the window, and you were like, if we could do it on the window, we could do it on the car, kind of thing?
Exactly.
Because we could print everything from here, and if it's multicolored prints, then we can't do it, but we always have somewhere to get it from, install it. So no matter what it really is, we could do it, whether it's on a window, a wall, a car, pretty much anything.
Okay. When did you guys start up the business?
I believe legally we started in July of 2021.
Okay.
We were kind of messing around with it for a few months before that, just kind of seeing, you know, what the possibilities were in this industry.
Yeah.
Flower City Wraps, that was well, I mean, Flower City Wraps started not too long ago, maybe last June, maybe somewhere around there.
Okay.
But I mean, the whole vinyl wrapping itself goes way further back than that, because you were doing this for a while.
Yeah, since just out of high school, I started doing it. I wanted to do it on my car. Didn't know how to do it, no idea. I didn't want to pay someone $4 or $5 grand to do it. Right. So, you know, YouTube, practice, learned myself, ended up loving it, and taught him, and he ended up feeling the same way about it.
Okay. Got a shop. He got the shop. You got the shop without, I don't know if I told you I would come in with you or not. I think I kind of hinted at it.
No, I just kind of sent it and got the shop one day, and I was like, "Hey, you wanna do this?"
Of an empty shop space with a couch in it, and he was like, "You want to split it?" And I was
that was
like,
before you knew how to rap or anything.
I didn't know shit.
I mean, no,
that's a big move.
That's the thing too. Is like I didn't know a damn thing. I didn't know anything at all. And pretty much from him and YouTube, I'm extremely confident. I mean, we've been doing it for a while now, but like extremely confident in rapping anything difficult, because cars are not easy. Cars are not easy.
To rap?
I could have you. We could hire you 100% to go do a window install, and you could do it. I'd have full confidence you could do it. But you wrap a car, there's so many curves, bends, little recessed areas, like underneath the cars. You see how sometimes they cut in like these little vents and shit.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and they don't stay all the time, so it's a learning process,
Absolutely,
like a motherfucker.
yeah.
But
I mean, obviously wrapping, you know, a flat like a hood or a trunk, it's a lot easier. Still takes a little practice, but it's when you really get around to the curves and the, you know, the divots and everything. You learn about inlays and all that.
So much.
Yeah.
So it was a learning process for both of you.
Absolutely.
You were starting, like, you started right out of high school. Were you starting out of high school just like for yourself, or were you starting out of high school, you did it for yourself, and you're like, I just want to keep it going?
So, yeah, I started originally just to do my car, and it probably took me like 3 months the first time.
Yeah,
for one rap job?
One rap.
Okay.
You had it going through the winter though, didn't you?
Yeah, I was doing it in the winter, so I wasn't really, you know, doing it a ton of time.
Yeah.
But I think like the rear bumper itself took me like 12 hours.
Really?
Which is now, you know, it'll take us 1 hour to do. But then, you know, it came out really good. A lot of my friends liked it, so I started doing a little bit of stuff for them. You know, I'd wrap my buddy's Jeep I wrapped that car, that old Supra, just messing around, just making some extra cash.
And you used to have people like hitting you up,
like
hoods, roofs, stuff like that. I mean, obviously you weren't doing like stickers or cutouts back then.
Definitely was not doing the quantity we're doing now, but
he had a lot of jobs. It was funny because you would post all the time on your Instagram page that was for your car back then.
Yeah, the car page, yeah.
And it would be like, you know, hood wrap done or roof wrap done. Hit me up for roof wraps, hood wraps, and he was getting people coming in and out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was during COVID, so it was just good, you know, extra cash.
Right.
I enjoyed doing it.
Right.
So, was it something that you saw getting to this point?
No.
Or was it more so just like you were doing it, you liked it, and that was kind of it?
No way.
And then it just happened?
Yeah, I really never would have thought we'd be at where we're at right now.
Right.
'Cause I was working, you know, I went to school, went to college, got my degree, got a job. I was working in a factory for like, I was trying not to say anything about it. Yeah, I was working in a factory for like 10 months, and it was just, you know, working 80-hour weeks, just night shifts, miserable.
He was literally a slave.
Yeah,
like,
I was literally like, you know, if I was awake, I was half dead. You know, I didn't really
that bad.
It was terrible.
And on top of that, imagine juggling a social life, a girlfriend, your mental health, your physical health.
Yeah, no, it was rough.
It's impossible.
Rough. Yeah. It was rough.
So was it the factory job that kind of made you think, I want to get out of this?
Yeah. You know,
that's what made you send it with this?
Pretty much one day I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. And then I just kind of put my 2 weeks in. Because that's when we had, it's maybe 2 months after we got the shop. The original one was a storage unit. Did the job though. It was nice. Did the job.
You were doing it out of a storage unit?
Out of a storage unit, yeah. That was our first.
It's not necessarily legal.
Right.
Oh, it's already
So we
on
weren't.
the video.
So we weren't doing it in a storage.
doing it
Yeah,
out of
right.
a storage
Yeah,
unit.
it was just a hobby.
We had a storage unit, and we were there sometimes, and maybe we wrapped.
Yeah,
sometimes.
while we were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I made a connection with a paint shop owner when I was getting parts for my car after I hit a pole because I was messing around.
Nice.
And he called me one day and he was like, "Hey, I got these two guys. They want to get their their classic cars wrapped." I was like, "Oh, really? Like, awesome." I'd only wrapped like 3 or 4 cars by then.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything out of it. I went and met with the guys. They saw what I could do, that I was still learning, and I gave them a really good price. And I think that's the day I went and got that shop, the original one.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. It was that day.
I remember you told me you had the meeting with them.
Yeah, because
Like
I
you
remember
literally,
it
you
snowing.
made I think you made like a PowerPoint or like a presentation or something.
Yeah. I made a
Like he
presentation.
went full force.
Hey, I didn't know what to do.
Because quite frankly, without those 2 first jobs, I don't know
if we would have
what
started. I really don't know if we
what
would have got
had.
started.
If we didn't have those first 2 jobs, I don't know if we'd necessarily be even here, honestly. Because those 2 full wraps, without much experience, without a bunch of previous customers,
Right.
it was just these nice guys. They just were like, yeah, we'll give you a chance, and that kind of sparked it.
It really did. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I even planned on doing a business out of it even after we got those cars. Like when they first, shook my hand and gave me a payment.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't, just something good on the side. And then,
Right.
After we did the first one, it came out so crazy. He was really learning fast. It came out so good. People were hitting us up after that, and we were like, well, you know what? We should really just do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
for you, was it you put your 2 weeks in before you even knew this was going to go anywhere, or did you put your 2 weeks in when you were like, okay, I could see this turning into something?
yeah.
Okay, so you kind of had an idea that there was like a fallback, like this is a safe thing to get into,
yeah.
even though you're still opening your own business, so it's
Yep.
never really safe.
Exactly.
Right. You were working. You were still doing Century and
Yeah.
the shop.
No, that was
was hard.
wild.
I was at AT&T and the shop, and it was still fun though.
Yeah, because
Back
we
then-
were there for a few hours of time together.
Right.
I'd be able to teach you some stuff,
It was
give you
hard.
some stuff to do
It was
on your
definitely
own.
hard sometimes because he'd have work or
Yeah,
I'd
I'd
have
be getting
work,
out
and
at 3 in the morning, then going to the shop, working till 5, 6,
it'd
going
be
home,
Freaking yeah,
doing
it'd
it
be something
every
but
day.
Those 2 cars, they pretty much taught me like everything. I mean, I used to bring Papa's car to the shop, wrap that, and then just take all the wrap off just to like practice. And
I think I remember that. I'd be seeing like
I
you have a
remember.
car with some black
some
vinyl
random
left
shit
off.
on it, yeah. Because I remember I tried to do a fender, like a front fender on Papa's car, and that front fender, that probably
I
took
remember
me
that.
like 2.5, 3 hours.
I know. I remember you called me a few times. You're like, so I'm at the curve.
Oh.
Where the fuck do I go from
And it's,
here?
and it's easy. Like a fender's an easy piece.
Oh yeah.
But like back then, that shit was not easy, and I didn't really know much back then when I was wrapping his car. But I remember how goddamn happy I was when I did it, and it was finished. I took a picture, I sent it over to him, and I was like, it was literally just a black fender. And I was so
Yeah.
happy with it. And just like, it was a little shit like that. Like I was just learning
Yeah.
slowly, but at a good pace. And then,
So you were going in like doing wraps on cars that you weren't even getting paid for, like Papa's car, or
Yeah,
like so
yeah.
you were just you were practicing nonstop.
yeah, I was
to
like,
get to
I was
that
like Josh Allen, we were
Wow,
practicing.
That's
I'd go
that's a
there,
great comparison.
go there,
Goddamn.
put some AirPods in, and just start rapping. I'd rap my car, I'd rap Papa's car. I think I tried to rap Mommy's car, but I don't think she let me.
Turn him white.
She wants it rap.
Yeah, she wanted it red, right?
She wants
the
it red.
cherry red.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell? Okay.
We'll see about that. I mean, maybe a present. Do it as a little gift.
That's not bad.
It's a good gift.
That's a great gift.
Yeah, but
So with you, what made you leave your job and start this? Because like, for me, doing anything, right?
right.
The biggest jump, the scariest thing, is leaving a guaranteed source of income for a possible source of income.
Right.
So at what point was it like, I feel like this could go and take off, or was it more like for you? Was it more like, because I know with you had a little nest egg chilling.
Yeah, and there's a lot more factors than just like whether I thought it would take off or not. I mean, for one, since like probably since high school, we'd always talk business. We'd always talk business, always talk ideas, just shit like that, because we never really wanted life sucks if you're just working 9 to 5. Life sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It absolutely does. So there was that played a major factor. I had a good amount of money saved up because I don't spend my money. I'm very smart with my money. So I had money just in case anything went wrong. And we were getting work. I mean, we had work, and it kind of sucked sometimes because, like, he'd be here and he'd be like, I need fucking help.
Yeah.
Like, we have something to do. You can't be here. And it sucks sitting there on the phone trying to get shit done, and he's the only one who can actually work. Right. I couldn't do anything to help. So, like, we had jobs, we had customers, and I was like, I'd probably rather say I tried and I failed than say I played it safe, I kept my job, and I didn't put everything into this business and it didn't go anywhere. Because, like, at that point, you're going to regret that
100%.
forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you don't jump into it and say you at least tried,
Right.
then you're going to live your life with that regret of, like, what if I did that?
Absolutely.
And that's a big, like, moral of this whole podcast in general is, like, that exact sentiment, right?
Right.
Where
Yeah.
I think I actually did it. It was a video explaining what the podcast is about. And it literally was like, because, like, when you're at work, or in your guys' case, at school, you're always having that conversation with somebody. I feel like no matter what job I've had, you're always having that conversation with somebody like, oh, we could do this, or we could open a business and do this, or if I open this business and did this. And it's always conversations with people about how you're going to make it to $1 million. Or
But you never act on it.
But you never act on it. So, like, the big reason why this podcast is even a thing is for people to have a way to look at it and be like say somebody did want to jump in and open a business. You guys did it. You guys went through that. So it's not like, oh, well, I don't know the steps to take to do this. It's like, oh, they did it. They're talking about it. They're teaching. Like, you guys are teaching whoever's watching this. Yeah. If someone types in, like, how to open a business and this comes up, they can literally hear how you guys went from A to Z. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It wasn't easy. I mean, it was pretty, like, terrifying.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
It
I mean,
was.
you're making a huge jump.
It was.
It's still terrifying because you never know what can happen because, you know, you're always, I mean, similar to, like, AT&T, we rely on our customers.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not a gas station. We're not having people coming in here every day because they want to get gas or a snack. Like,
you know.
We're a want. You want to get your car wrapped. Yeah. You want to get a nice Kobe Bryant put up in your shop at a card shop. You want that stuff. You don't need that stuff. So it's still terrifying. And it was a big jump. It was scary as hell. But it was definitely something that when I'm 40, I definitely would love to know that I did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can say that, and we could say that we did it. And we're here every day, and we're making phone calls, and we're doing, you know, walking into stores, trying to meet everyone. And, you know, we're putting 100% into it, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you guys, so I know you guys were doing it illegally, right?
Right. Who said that, though? Who said that?
No, but, so how did you guys start the process of making it a legitimate business? Like, what was the first step to make it a legitimate business to where, like, there's taxes involved, the government's involved now.
Right.
Like, I know you guys have, I believe you guys have a method of, like, a company card or a company account. Like, what was the first step you guys took to start that process? And then how was that process for someone who doesn't know anything?
Right. I mean, we kind of lucked out because my dad has his own business. He has an LLC. Okay. So my mom does kind of all the books and legal stuff for him, which was, I think if we didn't have that, we'd still be, you know.
I don't know. His mom his parents have helped a lot.
Yeah.
They've helped a shit ton. It's been very nice.
That's always good to have, like, that.
Yeah.
Someone there to help with the process.
I'm so thankful.
There's definitely, I mean, there's people, you know, I mean, because, like, if you don't know shit, there's people who have the businesses, you know. Like,
exactly.
We have a cousin. He runs a vinyl shop, too.
Yeah.
Could always ask him. Or, you know, we have another
he's been
cousin.
a great help as well.
Mechanic shop. We have an uncle with a restaurant. They all know the legal side of things. So, like, his parents knowing all the legal side, that just played a phenomenal part. Because
so there wasn't any, like, learning curve, really. It was more so like they already did it and they're telling
learning.
us
I mean, he's learned a lot.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from it. Like the you know, the taxes is very confusing.
He does that.
You know, we got to pay quarterly.
You got to pay taxes quarterly?
Quarterly, yeah. Don't know why. I think it's because we make under a certain amount. Once you make over X, then you can do it. I don't know, last two times a year maybe. However it works. But yeah, I mean, we had to get legal with the state as an LLC. apply to be an S corp, to be incorporated. We didn't get the bank account for a while.
Yeah, the bank account was kind of just like we had.
Yeah, because we just had
cash.
cash. You know, we just
We
had
had
a lot of
cash.
cash laying around, and my mom was dogging us how the IRS is gonna fuck us, and you know, just getting pissed. So I was like, all right, yeah, we'll get a bank account. So we got, you know, a business bank account. We both have a card. You know,
Just made it easier.
so
I mean, we were
easy.
still, when we were taking those cash jobs, we were still charging them tax, paying our tax. But it was just still kind of weird because we just like had cash laying around. Like, you know, if I had to go to Walmart and buy some isopropyl for a job,
right.
I can't just come here and get the cash. I got the card on me now. So I
Yeah.
can just buy that. If I need to go to AutoZone, I could buy something. If I need to order something on Amazon, I could buy
Yeah,
something.
buy
So
it,
it just made
yep.
a lot more sense because like we both have access. If I'm at work, he could order something, or if he's busy, I can order something.
Yeah.
It made a lot more sense. But like if you don't, we didn't have money
Yeah, I
like
mean-
that when we were at like our old shop.
Because we were using a lot of our personal money.
yeah,
You know,
we
'cause
did a lot.
we didn't have
Startup.
anything saved up really. You know, all the cash we'd make, we would,
It was
you know, we'd
reinvested
either
quick.
pay ourselves, reinvest it,
Yeah.
pay rent with it. You know, there were definitely months that we definitely struggled. You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah, and
For
even
sure.
still here, you know, it took a while, but there's jobs that, you know, eventually once you get the job, some of the jobs they pay well, and then you start to get more of them, and you could figure out, okay, so I could take 1 week to do this, and it might make me $2,000, $3,000, or I could do this job, which takes 2 days, I can make $4,000.
Right.
You start to pick that up,
right?
which is something that took a while, but
So you prioritize the job based on how
Absolutely.
it's going to affect you guys.
Right.
Absolutely. And then I mean, the thing is, since we're so, you know, we're still growing, people don't know about us as much.
Yeah.
We're going out of our way. You know, we're calling people, we're stopping in at, you know, now we're really leaning towards, you know, the bigger companies, like the bigger, like across the street, Oaks Tree Service.
right.
We just got, you know, some jobs from them. They have a ton of trucks. They have a big location.
Right. And
We're
your
really
dad-
just starting to go for, you know, the bigger
right,
clients
like
and stuff, you
schools,
know. Yeah,
actual
school.
businesses.
Now, what's the, because just from the outside looking in, not knowing shit about your business
Right.
whatsoever, for me, I'd relay it back to sales. You see a bigger company, right? You see like a large, like bigger name like Walmart, for example. You see that and you're like, that's scary. It's unattainable. So do you guys, when you're going for those big businesses, not Walmart, but like when you're going for those bigger, more established business in the city, how do you guys go about that? Do you hope for referrals, or do you cold call them the same way you would like a 2-employee business?
It's the same approach.
Yeah.
Same
Same
approach.
every time.
Call
I
them,
mean,
stop in,
it's
bug 'em.
different if you're calling like if we're calling the U of R, it's definitely different than
Right,
if we're
'cause
calling
we have to do
like
research on, okay,
Yeah.
you know, who's the marketing director, who's ahead of, you know,
Right.
the signage for this
it's
place.
a lot of research before the call when you're calling a big business because for one, they appreciate that a lot more because you know what you're doing, which makes it easier for them to know what they need from you, all
Exactly.
the stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I mean for two, it helps you because you know exactly what you're talking about. You're not like, hey, we do vinyl. Is there
Yeah,
anyone I
right.
can
You
talk
guys-
to? You might
yeah,
need
right.
vinyl. Like,
No,
No.
like we're all set.
yeah,
Thanks.
we're good. So you got to definitely do a lot more research. That's the only real difference. But when you're talking to them, you're talking sales. I mean, sales is sales
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
So like for example, for the University of Rochester, if you were to, so did you guys call them?
We did actually, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So in that scenario, what went into everything prior to the call? What went into that call?
Not much.
Yeah,
We
I
just, we don't, like, we're trying to talk
Like you
to
said,
Lowe's.
you researched and stuff like that.
100%. But, like, I'm talking, like, okay, so you mean research-wise what went into it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we just go on their website. We look at all their staff. We look at their staff directory. We try
We
and
have
find
departments.
the market director. Because market director is most of the time for buildings like that. They handle all of, like, the vinyl, the signage, stuff that goes up. But if you're calling, like, a school, it would be more like the facilities manager.
Right.
So there's different people that handle this, and it's something you learn, like I said, because when we were first cold calling, I mean, we were just like,
You would probably
I mean,
just
we've
call
had
a
some
secretary and
shitty-
say, hey, we can do vinyl wrap.
we've had some shitty calls.
oh my
Like
God,
some
yeah.
really, really shitty calls. I mean, I had a guy literally tell me to go F myself.
Really?
He had a guy
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
him, I don't even know what he
Oh,
said.
I don't
He
remember
just
what he
called
said.
this
It was
random
bad,
like
though.
construction company, and the guy was like, I just don't got time. You don't know what you're talking about, do you? And he was like, no, I don't.
Wow. Okay.
No, because he, I called him. I asked if he was the business owner, and he was like, oh, like, what business? I didn't know. I was just clicking businesses, calling them on Google. I had no idea who I called, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. He's like,
I mean, it isn't a bad method.
Yeah.
Because you're taking more shots you take, you might hit one.
Right.
But definitely not the way to do it. Definitely not the way to do it. If you could do research, if you could help your case, help your case.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Every time.
So how do you guys bounce back from some shit like that? So say, like, in your scenario, the guy told you to fuck yourself. Or, like, in your scenario, the guy's like, this guy's ignorant as hell. How do you bounce back? How do you bounce back from something like that?
Well, a lot of the times our calls are on speakerphones. So like if he's on a call and it's just going bad, I'll be fucking cracking up. You know what I mean? I'll be dying because it's just like it is what it is. You know, there's a million other places out there. I'm not gonna fucking cry if this one guy doesn't give us his business.
And it's the same thing that like because I know you know this personally. You literally told me you had one guy in the mall one time when you walked up to him and you said, "Hey, how you doing today?" And he came up to you and said, "Fuck you."
Yep.
That's just people.
Yeah.
People don't want, and given we're going out of our way to bother them, sure.
Yeah.
But we're trying to help them at the end of the day. Not everyone's going to receive it the same way, so you can't take it personal. It's not against you. They don't hate Flower City Raps. They don't hate you. They don't care. They don't care to have a call. And it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
Because after that call, you land a job. You make another call and you land a job instead of, oh, that call sucked. I don't think we should do calls for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like, you're not motivated.
Right.
You need to be motivated because if you're not motivated, then there's no point.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
That's my take.
that's a good take. I appreciate that take. It's a great take. So like now with where you are with the business, you have the bank account with the business. Do you guys write down your transactions, or like do you guys keep history of your transactions for tax write-offs, or are you not there yet? How does that process work?